Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we are going to have a little chat about relative value, I guess. I don't really know what to preface this with, or what to call this video, so this will be interesting. Bets on the title, although you've already seen the title, so that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so, I was talking to a friend earlier, because I have started an armoured company of Leman Russes and a Baneblade. You're not shocked. I know you're not shocked. When we did part 1 of the Imperial Guard range review, part 2 is on the way. I'm editing it. I'm just having some issues with audio and stuff, but it's getting there. Don't worry. Yeah. After that, I went and I got some Leman Russes. I already had a Baneblade lying around, which is a terrible sentence, saying it out loud. It wasn't necessarily lying around as such. I was going to use it for my Emperor's Children as like a mobile stage for a Noise Marine. I thought it'd be a fun project to do, and I just couldn't get it looking the way I wanted. I just wasn't happy with how it was going. I didn't feel like it was fulfilling what I wanted it to do, so I shelved it for a bit on the basis that I'll go back to it eventually. And when I started the Leman Russ Armoured Company, I started it based off a particular bit of art by an artist called Mark Francina. Francina? I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce his last name. And I realised, wait, I've got a Baneblade lying around. I should do something with that. So I did. There'll be some pictures in the video, provided I remember to edit them in like a sensible person. But I'm feeling at this point that probably it's going to be about 6 Leman Russes. I think 6 Leman Russes plus a Tank Commander plus a Baneblade will run about 2,000 points if you include sponsons and weapon options and the like. I'm pretty sure it'll be about that. That's off the top of my head. I will have to have a look at the official Battleforge app, of course, or just Battlescribe, one of the two. Probably Battlescribe at this point, because Battleforge deletes my lists after I make them, and so I can't edit them. I have to start all over again every single time, which is not annoying at all. Oh wait, yes it is. I have sent in a bug report, don't worry. But I want the Tank Commander to look a bit extra fancy. Now, all of the tanks are going to look a bit mad, because they're going to look extremely gothic, covered in candles and stuff like that. But I want the Tank Commander to have an edge, to have something extra, something a bit alpha pattern about him. Because, let's face it, the alpha pattern Leman Russ is awesome. Sorry, the Mars alpha pattern. I should give it its full title. I mean, technically the full title is Death Corps Kriegsmark alpha pattern Leman Russ with modified riser pattern turret. But you know what I mean. We'll just stick with alpha pattern for now. I absolutely love this. And I said to my friend, well, I want my Tank Commander to be in one of these. It'll probably be run as a normal Leman Russ, but I want him to be in one of these. And they had a look, and they promptly said, I mean, it looks great, but that's £67, and a standard Leman Russ is £35. Is it actually worth it? And that's where I had a momentary pause. And that's why I've come to you, because I want to know whether you would think something like this is worth it. See, when you actually look at the difference between the two, yes, the Leman Russ does look good. I like the Leman Russ. I clearly like the Leman Russ, otherwise I wouldn't have bought 3 of them. So, just to start out, 3 of them, and I wouldn't be planning to have at least 7. Clearly, I like them. There's no two ways about it. I'm not just putting it on. It would be a stupid thing to lie about. I like the Leman Russ. But the Leman Russ is only £35, and it gets better, in a way. See, the first 3 I bought were from Element Games, and it was this box right here. See, they do a pack. They do a Leman Russ Battle Tank Squadron, which is 3 of them for £80. That's pretty reasonable. That's quite a good discount. I mean, as it says, 17% discount. By the way, there's a link to Element Games in the description with an affiliate link. Just saying, just throwing it out there. Look, I do this very rarely. It's like this is maybe the 4th one in maybe 12 months. It happens very occasionally. But this is really good value. Like, this is... I just immediately went and grabbed this because the extra discount you get from third-party retailers is absolutely worth taking advantage of. Problem is that when you look at this, that £80 for 3 makes that £67 for 1 look way worse. Even worse than it already looked. It already looked damn expensive because it's £32 more than a standard Leman Russ. But when you compare getting 3 of them for 80 and then 1 for £13 less, I mean, that gives me pause. that really gives me pause. That makes my heart hurt slightly, because, dear Lord, it just makes it so much more expensive. But here's the thing: if we're looking at this from a purely economic standpoint, it's totally not worth it. It is not worth it to get one of these as a tank commander. In fact, realistically, it's not worth it to get a third-party piece to put on the back to give it a similar look. I think Cromlech do a kit that kind of expands out the Leman Russ to look a little bit similar to this. It's not worth it to, say, find a replacement turret that would look cool, because at the end of the day, it's just going to do the same thing on the tabletop no matter what you do. But, for me, a significant portion of how much a model is worth is down to the enjoyment that you get from it, and not necessarily the price. To a point, there is a limit. There are some things that I look at and just go, I mean, realistically, I don't know that I would stretch to that amount for that, because I don't know that I would get enough enjoyment out of assembling or painting it. Whether it's on the tabletop or not, or whether it's just a display piece, I don't know whether that's worth going for, because I don't think I would get the required amount of required amount of just joy out of it. What's the woman who tidies up? What's her name? Something Kondo. I've not watched. I mean, I don't know why I'm bringing this up. I know nothing about this person, but I'm sure there's someone who promotes tidying up after yourself, and what is it? Does this bring joy? That's what it boils down to. The more I think I'm going to enjoy a project, the more I'm happy to spend that bit extra on it. And it's not just conversions, because that's the main thing. Conversions are the thing I enjoy the most, and so I'm prepared to spend a bit extra on stuff, because I know I will get hours of just chilled out zen time, working on something that I like, working towards something that I want to make, that is going to be my own thing that I've put my stamp on, and that's just the building process. That's before we even get to painting it. So in terms of conversions, I'm all over that kind of thing. But it also, for me, does kind of apply to those special characters, those special models. I'm not going to sit there and go through Forge World and build a completely customised 5-man squad of something or other using bits from 4 different kits. That's not likely to happen. Unless I've already got a significant chunk of bits lying around. An example of that being my Emperor's Children stuff. I mean, it's using Custodes bits, but there's also a lot of stuff in there from other things that are just spares. Bits from kits that I never used. Bits from kits that, those weapons options just never came up, and so I didn't do anything with them. Spikes and stuff from Chaos Vehicles that I didn't put on. Those conversions didn't cost anything more than just buying the boxes of Custodes stuff, because I already had all those pieces left. When it comes to things like characters, when it comes to special models, to centrepiece models, to the leaders of a force, I've always felt that spending that bit extra isn't really an issue, because it's putting you mark on that army. It's putting something a bit extra into the leader of that force. And so I look at the Alpha Pattern Leman Russ, and I think to myself, well, it's not worth the extra money in terms of, money. It's not good value. It just isn't. Yeah, the main body is totally different. It's like a whole chunk of resin. It's not the same as the standard Leman Russ. There's a lot of extra stuff going on. But really, an extra 32 quid for something that I would use as something that costs 35 quid, no matter how you slice it, doesn't make a huge amount of sense. But in terms of just joy, in terms of having something that I will enjoy owning, that I'll enjoy working on, that I'll enjoy converting, and that I'll enjoy putting my mark on, in terms of having something that will lead that force, something that is recognisable and slightly different but still similar, something that rounds everything out and just adds that extra element to a project that I'm, massively enthusiastic about, then it does feel worth it. But that's what I want to hand over to you. Is this the kind of thing that you do? When it comes to things like HQs, when it comes to centrepiece models, do you mind spending that extra amount? Do you mind going that extra mile, picking up something maybe from Forge World, or getting a bunch of bits from maybe third-party manufacturers to properly customize your leader or your centerpiece model? Do you look at it in terms of like the actual monetary value, or do you go off entirely, how much you're going to enjoy building it, painting it, owning it, playing with it on the tabletop? Are those the things you focus on more than like the economic side of things? I'd be really interested to know, genuinely, because I think I'm very used to just looking at it and going, well, obviously I'll do bare minimum, just just this one kit and maybe a few extras from the bits box for this squad because it's just a squad. But this central guy, he's got to have something extra. He's got to have something bigger and better. And if it costs a little bit more, then it's fine because I know I'm going to enjoy doing it. I want to know how prevalent that attitude is. So let me know in the comments down below your kind of approach to this sort of thing. Whether you put the monetary side of things first, whether you just go straight for how much you're going to enjoy it or enjoy owning it, whether you try and strike a balance between the two, like set a budget for a particular model, like something you want to put extra effort and stuff into. Do you then go, okay, well, I want this to look different, I want it to look special, but I want to make sure I don't go crazy overboard with it? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd be really interested to read these, actually. Let me know what you think. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like. Don't click it if you don't want to. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games, which you can use to support the channel if you would like. I leave it entirely up to you. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.